Hey everyone, welcome to Sound Design Fundamentals, sampling. In this class, we're going to cover all kinds of different techniques for using samplers to make your own sounds and instruments. We're going to be using primarily Reason and Ableton Live. We'll be using the NNXT in Reason, the NN19 in Reason, the Simpler in Ableton Live, and the Sampler in Ableton Live. However, if you don't use any of those tools, you are still A-OK in this class, because the way I'm going to be teaching this is to teach the fundamentals of how samplers work, the main things we look for, the main functions, and you'll be able to apply these to whatever software you're working on. So if you're not using Reason or Ableton Live, you're still okay to take this class. You'll still get a lot out of it. You'll be able to look at any sampler that you happen to be using and see it in a new light. My hope is that you look at it and you say, I get it. I know what all these buttons do now, because you understand the general concepts. This is very much an overview class. We're not going to go incredibly deep into the sound design aspect of creating sounds. We're going to mostly focus on the general concepts of how these things work. It's going to be a great foundation for you to start learning about sound design and for you to get more familiar with how sound design works if you're already testing the waters with it. Now, if you took my Sound Design Fundamentals synthesis class, this builds off that. We'll be using a lot of the same stuff. We're going to be talking about filters, oscillators, envelopes, amplifiers, all these things that we need to know for synthesizers applied to sampling. A lot of it works the same. You don't have to take that class. You'll be totally fine in this class without having taken it. But I also recommend you to take that class because the two things work together really well. And once you start to understand the concepts, you'll be flying and you'll be able to look at your stuff and you'll know exactly how to use every single button on there and every dial. So let's dive in. We're going to first start talking about Reason's NN19 and we'll progress along the way. Throughout this course, we're going to be doing a lot of preset deconstructions, which are things that I think are really helpful for learning how these devices work. What that means is we're going to learn how the basic device works, find our key elements in it, find our concepts, and then we're going to load up one of the presets that come with it, and we're going to pick it apart. We're going to look at the samples, we're going to look at the settings, we're going to listen to the sounds, and we're going to figure out how it all comes together and how they made that sound. Now, we're also going to be making our own sounds from scratch using those devices. And I'll also be talking a little bit shortly here, I think in the second video, about how to find sounds. We all know about the legal crazy implications, but I have a tip for you where you won't have to worry about any of the legal stuff and you'll be able to get the best quality sounds that you can get, and they'll be totally free and totally legal for you to use, and you don't have to worry about any of that other stuff. So check that out, coming soon in, I think, the second video. Okay, enough talking. Let's dive in and let's make some noise.